fucking streamers.
If it makes you feel better, they didn't have to paint their faces yellow.
That's worse.
And they probably didn't have the title of Brick anything in the book. If I were to guess, it would probably be something more akin to a road spirit.
Discovery, throttle up.
Lift off and the clock has started.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Potluck Focus. And today we are talking about the few cultural touchstones remaining, those few things that connect generations, those reoccurring things that happen in our lives, things such as the Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, that's going on what now since the 80s?
Yeah, something like that.
So I don't know how many years that's 40.
40-ish? Over. Yeah, well, it depends on what part of the 80s.
Yeah.
And everyone, like my younger niece, like she has a Ninja Turtles. We have our version of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Our parents had their version of the Ninja Turtles, and we all know when we talk about Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, we all know the Turtles. We all know about them. We all know about Master Splinter. Every big ass rat everyone has ever seen for the past 30, 40 years
Master
has
Splinter.
been who?
Yeah. I mean the pizza meme with the rat. I mean everyone knew instantly.
Every rat that wins. Anytime a rat gets away, it's like, damn, that was Master Splinter. That was no regular rat.
Yeah.
And these are the things we are talking about today. So what's another one that you can think of? What is another thing that just comes back time and time again that we all know?
King Kong. Not because I think people now, because of the MonsterVerse, like is like, oh, King Kong's such a big name. They don't realize that this is like the 7th iteration of the character, and going back from like the early like 1940s, 1930s, something like that, and then you have it just progressively the suits get better, and then you have my favorite personal one is the Peter Jackson King Kong.
You are legitimately the only person I know that is their favorite King Kong.
It because people, they really like the MonsterVerse King Kong, and I'm like, that's not King Kong. That is Kong. That is a giant ape called Kong, but that is not King Kong, and which is why I like that in his movie it's just Kong Skull Island, and throughout the whole thing they just call him Kong because King Kong is a different ape. It's a different story. It's not the same story. And I like both characters equally. I'm calling them characters because they both show enough humanity to exist outside of being an animal. But
and that was really the whole point of like the original film. That was kind of like the whole thing when after bro got laid out, they was like, damn, are we the bad guys?
Yes. Yes. 100%. And if you didn't get that was a bit of it's also a bit of a race allegory. I hate to tell you that, he got brought over on a boat and chains and he died because he's messed with that white woman. So I don't know what other what more race allegory you can get other than that. If you missed that in the OG King Kong, it's right there.
Maybe people didn't want to see it because King Kong is a big old ape. Maybe people just didn't want to see it that way.
I mean, look, I hate when they call me monkeys too, and I always felt some way when Frieza called, the Saiyans monkeys, but unfortunately, that's a
monkey.
Yeah, I was like, watch your fucking mouth.
Like, oh, chill out,
purple bitch.
It's like, we get it, you're evil, but relax.
You gotta be racist too.
Like, calm down.
Pick a battle.
Be evil to everybody.
Yeah, my least favorite King Kong is horny King Kong. Don't like horny King Kong.
Like we get the
when he took the beads off one at a time with his finger. I don't like horny King Kong. He gotta chill. And when his eyes got big, I was like, bro, no part of you's gonna fit. I don't know what you think you're gonna do.
He's gonna do what he did to them beads.
But I'm like, you're gonna explode
gonna do
her.
what he did to them beads.
You're gonna explode her.
He showed you the finesse. He was like, look.
He did and it was one at a time with that big ass.
Exactly.
Bink.
Exactly.
But I mean,
that's what he gonna do. No more, but that is what he Gucci.
Here lies Andero, and there lies Andero, and there lies Andero, and there lies. It's all over the fucking place. What talk to
Scooby Doo.
Ooh. Can we just leave Velma out the conversation?
Well, I mean, yes. Did you?
Word.
We can.
Yeah, because they're making another Scooby Doo
But we're not
show.
gonna.
And it's gonna be an anime, low key.
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw some stuff because it was like whoever owns like the Boomerang and like Cartoon Network stuff now is bringing back a lot of our shows.
Discovery.
Is it Discovery?
Yeah, I think they're still doing.
That's why they kidified most of the stuff. Because most of the shows, like it's like they brought back Foster's, but like they made it for a younger generation, and they brought back. They're supposed to be bringing back Adventure Time with a new season that's a regular thing, and then like a BMO show that's like for a younger generation again. But Scooby Doo is another one I saw that they're making to an anime, and I think it's cool that Scooby Doo has throughout the years, like its animation style has changed, but for the most part, excluding She Who Shall Not Be Named, it's
you
essentially.
can always tell you're watching Scooby Doo. The characters always look. The only character that really had any design changes that you could say significant is maybe Daphne, because I think she has a couple different dresses, but really that was tied to when she was a reporter and when she wasn't.
Yeah.
And Fred has different shirts. But really one different shirt, because he has a different shirt in I think What's New Scooby Doo. He's rocking the button, like the polo type button up with no ascot. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Every other show I think he has the ascot.
Yeah, unless it's a movie and then they all have different clothes.
All right, there's movie swag.
Yeah, it's movie swag.
It's
Again,
movie
like this, like it's a whole different
Shaggy.
universe. Yeah, no, because he gets a red shirt in the.
I think that's a Cyber Chase movie. I think in every other movie.
And the one with the monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets the red shirt and then like his eyes change like different size pupils and shit. I watched a crazy video talking about the multiverse of the Scooby Doo universe, and it got too deep. I learned a lot about the shirts.
I thought he only had the one shirt, but all right, Shaq, you
got a red joint. Yeah, you got a red joint.
I know, because I do remember the red, because I was like, that's my favorite color. I was like, oh, look at Shaggy with the swag.
The red with the tan pants? It wasn't a bad look. I couldn't pull that off.
The problem is they couldn't stick with it because he either A, looked like a red shirt from Star Trek, or B, looked like a discount Red Ranger.
Ooh. And both are bad. Both are bad. Definitely don't want to be a red shirt, and you certainly don't want to be a discount Power Ranger.
And I think the beautiful thing about Scooby-Doo and Ninja Turtles is that much like how they keep coming back, they're all different. They all have their own things about them. They're their own versions of that thing. Like the Ninja Turtles that we grew up with is different than the Ninja Turtles that's out now, and is different than the Ninja Turtles that came before, just as Scooby-Doo from the 60s is different than what's New Scooby-Doo was, and it's way different than what Mystery Inc. was, and all of these are different shows that can be appreciated for different reasons.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think what's interesting too about Scooby-Doo and like just talking about touchstones in general is that you can lose your touchstoneness depending on how your franchise just goes.
Just vanishes.
Like how Star Wars, they're losing their cultural touchstone, where there was a point where if you hadn't seen the Star Wars movies, you were missing out on conversations in real life. And like with people that like aren't like nerds, like you were just like, oh, you don't know who Luke and Leia are? Sorry.
Especially back like when we were growing up, like when we were little, like in the early 2000s, that was still a time when culture was still a little bit more condensed. So even though I didn't really watch Jackass, that wasn't really my type of thing, I know who Steve-O is. I know who Bam Margera was. I knew who all those guys were.
Yeah.
And I didn't even watch the shit. I knew about American Pie. I knew about all these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how it was. Even if you didn't watch it, you were familiar with it, even if it was just in a passing sense.
Yeah. You had enough to like, you could conversationally get by.
Yeah, unless you actually lived under a rock, you knew about these things, even if you hadn't seen them.
That's like speaking about like kind of TV shows like Survivor. That's another one where it's like whether you have watched a full season or have seen an episode or a clip, you know what Survivor is. I don't have to even go into details. You know exactly what show I'm talking
game
about.
Shows like the reality game shows or really daytime game shows in general is something that at least we have seen in American culture most people know about it. Like I think everyone knows about Wheel of Fortune.
Price is Right.
The Price is Right, Deal or No Deal,
Yeah.
and things like that, and even stuff like The Wink is
Deal or
Sleep.
No Deal.
Like maybe not Deal or No Deal, because Deal or No Deal comes and goes, but they do have the Dave and Buster shit, so maybe people do know. There's like an arcade game.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think that's in most like years a Deal or No Deal or like a.
But it's so pervasive,
Price is
like
Right type joint,
like
yeah.
you know, like catchphrase from The Price is Right or "You are the weakest link, goodbye."
Yeah.
Like everybody knows.
Do do do. Yeah, you know what fucking show that is.
And stuff like that. I think it's nice because it does bring people together. It makes you understand people. It makes it easier for people to understand each other, even when they come from different places. When there are all these things that you both know about because of the fact that they're so big, or they keep coming back every so often for whatever reason, like a Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I mean, but that Mickey Mouse is a different because I think it's there's one thing of being a cultural touchstone, and then there's one thing where you dominate culture.
Disney was on their bullshit.
Like if you dominate and you just flood the market, then yeah, inevitably you will be a cultural touchstone because you've touched on every part of culture. Like that's not. I don't know if that's as fair.
Oh, I was more so talking about like Mickey Mouse programs, like actual TV shows.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I was like,
that was like the idea of Mickey Mouse.
I was like, yeah, fuck Disney.
No,
I mean,
like,
I love you,
like as a
overlords.
Remember we had like the House of Mouse,
Yeah.
and like even on like fucking the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on Playhouse Disney for little kids. And like there's a new Mickey Mouse show, I think, where, like it's more of a clip show type deal. So and it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like something that keeps it fresh in the mind.
Yeah. But I think what's another one that's losing? I think Lord of the Rings is losing their touchstone because
You don't think people will still watch the other movies?
I mean, even with looking at like the success of the Hobbit movies, yes, they made back their budget. Yes, they were real popular. But if you're doing like comparatively and like their reception over time, no one's talking about the Hobbit movies.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
No one's writing home about
that.
that.
I'm not saying. Like, I'm talking about even knowing that those movies are bad. Do you think that people will then in the future not watch like the Peter Jackson joints? Like
I think that fan base will always be there and it'll always be a part of culture, but I think it won't be.
You don't think it's gonna go any further than that?
I think there will be a time where you'll make a reference to Lord of the Rings and people just look at you and won't get it, and I think that'll be a more of a thing, and and I think that's where they're kind of progressing as the more they put out that's not quality. Like I haven't watched the show and I heard the show is decent, but if decent is your metric for comparative to what is arguably one of the three of the greatest franchises, period. Like three of the greatest movies of a franchise, period. You know, you could argue like any trilogy, it can go band for band. The original trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, like I can't really think of like if you talk about Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings, now you're talking about like original trilogies. I gotta give it to Lord of the Rings, honestly. Like I personally enjoy Star Wars more, but if you talk about like cultural touchstones, I think Lord of the Rings has had those three in its time in their heyday had more of an impact and created more of a they have equally of toxic of fan bases, I would say, but like Lord of the Rings has more of it has that subgenre of going into more into fantasy than I think Star Wars allows. In the sense of like, if you want to be, do like a Hobbit thing, you could set your whole house up to be Hobbiton and do all this stuff. Star Wars has a limit and a budget to how much you can personally recreate of Star Wars. And so because of that, it becomes less accessible. Like any person with, some Hobby Lobby around them and like $40, you can get your house pretty damn look to like Bilbo's and like do a lot of the stuff like that. But to start trying to replicate Star Wars shit, now you're talking about you're going to have to chip out some money. You probably going to have to talk to Lucasfilms to really get it to look right. You know what I mean?
No, bro, all you got to do is live in Luke's house.
What, Luke, Leaky Luke?
No.
Oh.
Luke Skywalker's house. On Tatooine, like on Tatooine.
Just the desert basement with all rocks. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that. That's pretty simple, I guess, if you wanted to turn your house into a dusty, dust bowl.
You talking about living in Hobbit holes?
I mean, nah, bro. The Hobbit, you've seen a Hobbit house, bro. Them shits is nice, hardwood floors, lamps
Luke
and
and
shit.
them was slaves. Just they Dusty Cave was fucked up because they was dust slaves. They was moisture farmers.
No. Luke was not a slave. Anakin was a slave.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, they ain't had no money.
Luke was a whiny little bitch.
He was also that. They ain't have a lot. They ain't have a lot going on. But you a baller. You a Dust Cave baller. Your moisture farm busting. So your cave is nice. That's what they do.
I know it is, but I always just thought that was crazy. Nigga, what do you mean? You mean you got a drill that you drill into the ground till you hit water? I don't know. That's a farm. I don't know if they call a bunch of oil rigs an oil farm, but some people do. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe fucking oil rig. I don't know.
Oil farm, baby.
But another one I want to talk about, since it's relevant right now, is Wizard of Oz and how it's different permutations throughout the years. Yeah. And you were talking about this. I know one of your favorites is
The Wiz.
And you want to talk about The Wiz?
Well, yeah, I love The Wiz.
Talk about how great it is. Give us some.
See, like, the thing I love about The Wiz is The Wizard of Oz? Yes. But Motown was like, look, we all love The Wizard of Oz. But you know what my one problem with The Wizard of Oz was? What is it, Motown? It's not black enough. So they took The Wizard of Oz and upped the blackness level 100%.
And they were like, can we make it blacker? And it was like, well, there's no black people in there, so I'm sure we can make it blacker. But like, how black are you talking? Oh. It's like, what did he say? Oh, black.
I was vibing with the Wicked Witch for a little bit when she was in there. Don't bring me no bad news. Oh, okay.
Man, I be at work just humming that in my head. Please don't nobody bring me no bad news. Please.
And The Wiz has a secondary core memory for me that when I got a little older, after I graduated high school, I went to a mostly white high school. A couple years after I graduated, they did a production of The Wiz. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Question mark. What is happening here? So I had to go check this out. So like, I get this. I'm like, what do you mean by that? So I go check this out. And I'm like, oh shit. They just got like all the black kids together to do this. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
So the first thing I thought you were gonna say is they got all the white kids to do it. In my head, I was like, that's not racist, but there's something wrong with that. But
there are white kids there.
But the fact that you got all the black kids together at an all white school. Now
I didn't say all white. I said mostly white.
Okay, fair. But still, though, I don't know. I mean, I guess
there
that's
white kids there too.
Great that they were like, no. If anybody's gonna play the Scarecrow, it's gonna be a brother. The white kids were the Road.
They were the Road. The Road did some interpretive dance at one point. I think it was when they were doing the Get On Down the Road song. So when they were doing that, like,
you mean they were
I'm about to tell you. So when they were singing Get On Down the Road, so they came out with their gold shirts and like they had some gold streamers and like one of those big old banners, and they were like doing like team interpretive dance with this gold banner to represent the road that they were about to get on down. And then when the song was over, they left, and that was it. That was it. No more of them.
You know, sometimes including everybody ain't the best thing. Hey, why the fuck would you make the road dance? Why would you? These kids went home and was like, "Mom, I need your help with my costume." What are you, honey? I got a role in the Wiz. It's like, oh, really? Who are you? Are you Dorothy? It's like, no. The Wicked Witch? No. So what are you, honey? Brick number 5. Who do you mean brick number 5? Well, I'm one of the bricks on the yellow brick road, and so I need you to make me to paint my face yellow. Give me a yellow shirt and some yellow pants. Help me with these fucking streamers.
If it makes you feel better, they didn't have to paint their faces yellow.
That's worse.
And they probably didn't have the title of Brick anything in the book. If I were to guess, it would probably be something more akin to a road spirit. Because they were they're representing the road.
It can't get any funnier. Fuck you being the road spirit. Stop, I can't handle this. We only got so much time. I want to talk more about the Wizard of Oz. Can't get stuck on this shit. We're powering through. We're powering fucking through. There is a sequel to The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's called The Return to Oz. Never seen it, but apparently it's far darker than The Wizard of Oz.
Does the Scarecrow get 2 guns?
I think the Scarecrow is dead.
Damn. Because he didn't ever use his gun. He probably didn't have bullets.
Doesn't he have a holster? Is that...
Well, yeah,
in
the
Wizard of
holster,
Oz?
holster doesn't mean bullets, man.
No, but I'm gonna say, doesn't he have a holster in The Wizard of Oz?
He has a whole, he has a whole ass gat. Because when they pulling up,
That's right. He pulls
out the gun. Because he has
ups
the
piece
gun, and
on
then
it.
the lion has his mallet.
Yeah. He
And
ups the piece on it. That's right.
Dude has his axe. It was
That's
a whole
right.
ass gang.
That's sure right. He does up in order. That's crazy. That is crazy. And all the magic, he's like, nah, I got this. The great equalizer.
It's such an important part to his character that even Tom and Jerry made sure they put it in.
That is pretty fucking solid. Can never go wrong with T and J. That is another cultural touchstone because they've made it through some decades.
Still
if you go
going
far
on.
enough back, you're gonna see some racism in Tom and Jerry.
Still going on. They think they're an anime now.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can
chibi
get into
style,
that.
baby.
I could probably get into that.
It's a friendship anime. About friendship and shit. About the power of friendship. You like friendship?
I can
How you
no
feel about
longer
friendship?
get into that.
You like Friends?
I can no longer get into that.
I could, but it's like I've seen some. It's too friendly. It's cool. It's adorable. I ain't gonna say it's not adorable. It is that. I'm like, damn, this ain't Tom and Jerry, baby.
Nah,
I did like the episodes when they would cooperate.
Yeah,
there
when
was
they work
always
together.
that tacit thing because there was always either something holding that together or if Tom got caught up, like if a human showed up, that the relationship would dissolve immediately.
And no one can beat El Magnifico. Si, señora, no one can beat him. Like I said, you go far enough in Tom and Jerry, you're going to find some questionable things in there for sure. For sure. But another, with Wicked coming out, you haven't seen it. No one in the squad had seen it but me. I've seen the musical twice at the Chicago Theater, and I saw the play with my family over the holiday. And, I mean, spoilers, not spoilers. I mean, it's been out for 3 fucking decades on Broadway and then performing and then also in there. So, you know, to be as spoiler-free as possible, I guess, the chick who played Elphaba bodied the role. I've been saying for years after I saw the first one when I was like 12, I was like, Elphaba should be played by a black person. And I'm like, I think it's kind of apparent that her whole struggle is it's an allegory for being a black person in an all white world. And they didn't shy away from that in the musical.
Same thing. Just about every person that I know that saw it said the same thing.
Yeah, they didn't shy away from that at all, which I was like, cool. I'm glad you didn't because it would be a disservice to having a black actress in the first place play the character. It's like, why even cast her if you're not going to lean further into what are clearly like racial dynamics throughout the whole thing, and it's not reading into it.
They might have really actually been a student of the Zack Snyder school of making films.
There was no slow motion in this whole movie. I'll tell you that right now. No slow motion, and I appreciated that. Everything that happened, they was getting through scenes. I was like, damn. I'm like, this first act of the play is legit about 3 hours. They got through it in a tight 2.5. And I was like, y'all are moving. Didn't cut out no songs and didn't really skip through nothing. And I even added some stuff that wasn't in the musical. And I was like, y'all getting through some shit. And I'm like, y'all know what we're here for. We're here for these songs and try to hear these big notes. And
I think that goes to show that when you're making something that is an adaptation or remake of something, you can add new stuff. You can do stuff, but it shouldn't detract from what was already there.
yes, agreed.
Like I don't know what, especially because you already have the blueprint. You already have the bones of the hard work's been done for you.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't need to extract anything to add what you want to add, especially if you're allotted more time for whatever reason in some instances.
100%. There shouldn't be any reason that your thing is worse than what's already came out, and which is why I have a problem with all these live action Disney movies where it's still CGI, but it's worse because you lose the soul of a kid's movie when you take out the animals with their facial expressions that are humanistic. That obviously they're not going to be there, but you lost that. And I think that's what they fixed it with Stitch. And I think they realized that because of how the Lion King it just wasn't better
And I think
in
that
any way.
And I think it has something a lot to do with the fact that Stitch is like as a being it's not real.
Yeah.
And so they don't have there's no pressure to go this ultra realism route like there was for Lion King, because on a technological standpoint, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But
honestly,
as like a movie for like as me going to see a film, this is something that doesn't really need to be a thing.
it just doesn't translate the same. And even like going to like the Broadway Lion King, like they still have the animals are there, but they still let them have like human emotions and let them emote like a human. They have like very articulate like puppetry, and you lose so much when you take away a medium like that and you don't convert it. And like Lion King's another one that's a cultural touchstone that unfortunately, and like I hate to say it, but like even my little sister, she hadn't seen Lion King, so I was like, well, you need to watch it, because I found out they were going to see it on Broadway without me. Those fucking
that's a different type of culture touchstone. One of those things that's just so good that you enjoyed it in your youth. When you see another younger person, that you show it to them and they enjoy it as well, and it's just one of those things that keep getting shown. It's like how maybe some person may have gotten shown Star Wars for the first time, or how someone younger may have seen Lion King for the first time. But the problem with like say a remake of it, it doesn't allow for the space for a new legend to grow, and that has nothing to do with the Lion King. It's really more to do with like remaking it instead of allowing the space for a new legend to grow in its own space. Because people forget that that was the Disney Renaissance. Yeah, cool. But Disney made a lot of shit. Like Disney made a lot of different types of movies, and like I feel like we don't really get a lot of those middle level movies from really not just Disney, really any studio. They're not making those middle level, because that's where you have, like, even if you make those middle safe movies, if those end up popping off to make bigger money, that's where you have that space to take more risk, and that's where you get all the cool shit that we remember from the past that we don't get a lot of.
It's super off topic, but I think to piggyback off that, I think when they went through their dark days, when the treasure planets and the Atlantises, where they were real experimental with their stuff, but those movies weren't as widely received because they were too ahead of their time. I think
Treasure Planet was very ahead of its time.
Even Atlantis with the animation and everything, and like
movies,
the themes were very much ahead of their time for a kids movie.
The time that they came out, being right on the cusp, the edge of when animation's going over to 3D. 3D is the new hotness. That is what everyone wants. Mm-hmm. Even regardless of the quality of it, like we haven't really seen it before, so it's understandable that that's where it wants to be. So it gets lost in the shuffle. But if that were to come out now, it would actually be very unique, because most movies are some type of 3D. Yeah. Even the closest thing to a non-3D movie is like a 2.5D kind of thing. That's the closest you'll kind of get. Yeah. So seeing a beautifully hand animated movie like that, it's not something you'll see really anymore.
No, you won't, and I think that's a touchstone that I think we are gonna lose, is just the regular 2D hand drawn media. I think the more that technology progresses, I think we are gonna eventually lose that media form. And it's unfortunate, because I mean it's such you get some beautiful art with it, but
people even today don't really. Like, they hand draw things digitally. That's really as close as you're gonna get. But that's really, I actually don't think that'll ever go away. Because even stylistically on just the creativity thing, the coming up, like when you have independent artists, like the people, like they'll always do that. Like on the internet, they'll always do that. Like we may never see a hand animated movie like in a theater for as long as we live. Yeah. But we might. But it would definitely be an anomaly.
It'll be an anomaly. It'll be a small studio too.
It'll be something like, oh man, let's go see that, probably because of the fact that it'll be a selling point at that point.
Like like the claymation stuff, where it's like that we want the cool story, but like we're going to really
there's definitely people that go see it just because the fact that it's a stop motion movie. Yeah. And you'll definitely get those people.
How much time we got, Governor?
We got exactly 30 seconds.
All right. Rapid fire round. Ready?
What?
Of cultural touchstones, just everything.
Lizzie McGuire.
No. Let's go. No. Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump.
Castaway.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna go bar for bar. Okay.
Matrix. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one. Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter.
Oh, damn. Oh, Steve Urkel, the Nerd Hunter.
Ooh, okay, Steve Urkel. Okay. Oh, this is good. Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Okay. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Ooh, okay. Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
Give you a recent one. Well, recent.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Ooh, Space Jam.
I love
The original.
I love you. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one, actually. Simpsons.
That is a fantastic one. Family Guy.
I was gonna say you're gonna do their bite. I was gonna say the direct ripoff. Yeah. Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. That is a great cultural touchstone.
You got one more?
One more? Actually, I do. Sesame Street.
Ooh, we'll end on that. That's a bar. That's not just our culture. That's a culture around the world. Fun fact, every other country has a different kind of Big Bird. Look it up. It's kind of cool.
Huh. Bye.